We read this week Parshat Be'alotcha. Parshat Be'alotcha tells us in the very beginning of the parasha of the commandment that Aron, the high priest, should mount the lights on the menorah in the Mishkan, in the sanctuary. Every night he had to go up and place the lights, the lamps on the menorah. Be'alotcha et hanerot, when you raise the lamps. And he had to do this every single night. And he did this every single night for 39 years. And the text here says, Vayas ken Aron. Moshe commanded him to do it on God's behalf. Vayas ken Aron, and Aron did so. Rashi comments, why does the text says that Aron did so? Obviously, if Moshe told him in the name of God that he has to do this every night as part of his service in the temple, then of course he's going to do it. Why is that this text need to tell us that he did so? And Rashi says, the text tells us he did so because he did it every single night in the same way that he did it the first time. Just as he was commanded, as he was instructed, he did it every single night like the first one. But the Kotzker Rebbe says, we're not just talking about the physical action that was identical every single night to every other night. We're talking about the internal intention, the disposition of the soul with which he did this. He did it for 39 years every time with the same love, the same dedication, the same reverence as he did it the first time. And of course, this is one of the most challenging aspects of religious life and spiritual life. And we all know this. Of life in general, it's the most difficult thing to do. It's to do things intentionally, with devotion, with love, particularly if we are talking about mitzvot, if we're talking about prayer, if we're talking about relationship with other people, if we're talking about our work. It's very hard to do every single time, to do it with the same love, the same devotion, the same intention, same dedication. And so we come here to practice this. This is what prayer is about. Prayer is about, it's about many things, of course, right? Prayer is not just about one thing. It's multidimensional and very complex and very nuanced. And whomever thinks that prayer is easy is totally mistaken. Prayer is very difficult and very challenging. And one of the challenging aspects of prayer is precisely this, is to come into prayer always to try to approach it with Kavannah, with intention and with dedication, with love, with reverence, and so on and so forth. Just like Aron did in lighting the lamps every single night. And so I say this is the practice. This is the practice for the rest of life. We come here to sharpen our skills, so to speak, in Kavannah, to sharpen our skills in how much can we dedicate ourselves? How much can we find it within ourselves to do this with love? And so that when we do whatever we do, whether it's mitzvot or other things that we do in life, that we do in the same spirit. And so it's very difficult to sustain, but we come here every single week and we pray every day, three times a day, in many ways, to keep ourselves in that. Many times we're praying and we're completely somewhere else, right? Does it happen to you? It happens to me all the time, right? So I find myself, where am I? I'm in some faraway island all of a sudden in my mind. My soul is elsewhere. I have to bring myself back and rekindle the lamp and rekindle the intention and get back to focus here, where I am here, in the present, in the place I am in my prayers in the Siddur, or in my prayers in my mind. And so it's the constant effort to get back. And this happens also on Shabbat, to prepare for Shabbat, to observe Shabbat, and to do it with the same love and devotion. And if we do it, if we are able to do it, if we're able to practice and in some way also to master that, the ability to do that with devotion, with love, then there's light that is created. There's spiritual light that is created. If we don't do it with the heart and with the soul, nothing lights up. The flame doesn't go up. This is about raising the flame. And so I invite you to think about this and to embrace this challenge, and to keep embracing this challenge, and to keep practicing. The more we practice, perhaps the better we'll get at it. And one thing is important, just as with many other things. If we stop practicing, we lose it. It's not like you accumulate credit in the bank and then you don't do it for a long time and your balance is still what it was. It dissipates. And that's why the regularity of doing it every single day or every single Shabbat, whatever your frequency is. So, important things to remember, not just for here, but for life.